Emily Carter had never been one to chase after grand dreams. She lived a quiet life running the quaint little bookstore her grandmother left behind in a cozy corner of New York City. Every day was a rhythm of dusty novels, tea-stained journals, and friendly conversations with regular customers. She found joy in simplicity, peace in silence, and love in the pages of the stories she sold. But life, as always, had plans that even Emily couldn't read ahead. It started with a stranger, tall, sharp-suited, and commanding attention the moment he stepped into her world. Ethan Cross. A name that rang through business magazines and financial headlines like thunder. He wasn't just wealthy, he was the CEO of Cross Enterprises, one of the biggest tech investment firms in the country. But here he was, standing awkwardly between shelves of second-hand romance novels. "I'm looking for something sincere," he said that day, eyeing Emily more than the books. They spoke briefly, and she suggested a few titles. But Ethan's mind wasn't on literature. He had a different plan, one that was as strange to Emily as it was bold. A few days later he returned. "I need your help," he said, his voice calm but firm. "I'd like to hire you to pretend to date me for 6 months." Emily blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" Ethan explained that his board was pressing him to appear more grounded, more relatable to the public and shareholders. They think a stable personal image would help the company. "A normal relationship," he said. "I don't want someone from my world. I need someone real." At first, Emily laughed it off. But Ethan returned again, offering a generous monthly payment and a contract that ensured her safety, privacy, and respect. "There will be no physical expectations," he assured. "Just appearances, a few public dinners, some travel. Nothing uncomfortable." After long nights of thought, Emily signed. Not because of the money, though it would help with bookstore renovations, but because something in Ethan's eyes didn't seem cold or strategic. There was loneliness there. And curiosity. Their relationship began. Paparazzi photos, red carpets, charity events. Emily traded her sweaters for elegant dresses, though she kept her heart exactly where it belonged, guarded and steady. Ethan, to her surprise, wasn't arrogant. He was awkward with emotions, impatient with pretense, but oddly gentle in private moments. He'd often bring her tea before events, or slip books onto her counter with sticky notes. "Page 213. That line reminded me of you." One night, after a gala, Emily watched Ethan stare quietly at the stars from the balcony of his penthouse. "You know," she said, "you can't buy the sky, but you look like you're trying to." He turned, surprised by her honesty, something no one dared offer him anymore. "I don't want to buy it. I just don't know how to enjoy it alone." Emily smiled. "You don't have to." The months passed. Their fake smiles turned real. The scripted dates turned into spontaneous adventures. He took her to his childhood home, a modest farmhouse, and told her stories of growing up with nothing. She showed him her grandmother's recipe box and made him lemon cake from scratch. The line between contract and connection blurred. On a trip to a coastal town, they danced under lanterns during a festival. When a child mistook them for a real couple and handed them a flower crown, Ethan leaned in and whispered, "If this were real, I'd never let it end." Emily's heart stumbled. Back in the city, the contract's final month arrived. Ethan grew distant, more formal. Emily kept waiting for him to speak, to say what they both knew but hadn't confessed. But silence grew heavier. On the last day he handed her a check, the final payment, and a signed release. "Thank you, Emily, for everything." She took it, eyes stinging. "Goodbye, Ethan." As she turned to leave, Ethan called out, voice tight, "Wait." He walked up, holding not another check, but a book. It was one she had written as a girl but never published. "I had it printed." "Page 213, he said, smiling gently. "You once said the best stories are the ones that feel real. So here's mine." Emily opened the page. It was blank, except for one line written in Ethan's hand. "If you still want to, let's write the rest of this story together. For real this time." Tears welled in her eyes. She dropped the contract papers, took his hand, and nodded. Not because of money, not because of any deal, but because her heart, for the first time, knew it had found its home. And so, under no contract and with no cameras, The humble bookstore girl and the guarded billionaire began again. Only this time for love.